333. R.I.P.P. Don P. Ph.D. Yeah. I said, R.I.P. TV. Tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? R.I.P.P. God bless the real. Only for the righteous. The rest will go to hell. Flipping through the book of Revelation. Figure it out. Transliterate the translation. Do it yourself. It's the last days. Life is a test and we in a cage. Concrete jungle. Everyday struggle. Fuck the pain. I'm on some HNIC shit. A Gellion 3 shit. If you don't know what I mean, you was never G. Real shit. R.I.P. Yo, P, play that beat back, 333. Burn some weed, repeat that. Shake me up a tuka pack, break me off a 20 piece. I'm gone, never looking back. Y'all can't talk to me. R.I.P. TV, tell the homie. Mob Deep Mondays, that's everyday, thoughty. It's all for the community. That's what P showed me. We lost without the unity. Where the fuck is the OGs? Like the weed, play some IMD for me. It's hell on earth for real, but y'all don't wanna see paper trail politics. All the shit was prophecy, strictly for the family. Peace to the prodigy. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. R.I.P.P. I sleep when it's time for me. Dope dreams bring the skizzy, pour the Hennessy. Searching for some inner peace, couple hundred G's. Deadly weapons and some weed just for you and me. Yo. What the fuck is up? What up? Oh man, computer acting like an asshole. Hate it when it does. There we go. That one up. This one up now. What up, homie?
Yo.
It's everybody's favorite week of the year.
Hell yeah, it is.
A couple things going on. Motherfucking NFL draft is upon us.
Have time, baby.
And it's everybody's most hated fucking team in the world for this week.
Yeah, it is. So we need to do some good quality hating.
Oh, there will be some hating because I know I hate the Denver Broncos with a passion, and you sure as fuck didn't miss anything last week because I fucking hate the Broncos. So
yeah, they need a QB. It's terrible that they have a legendary QB who doesn't know how to evaluate QB talent. That's
at all. He's very Michael Jordan.
The same could be said. I'm about to say the same thing can be said by Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's very Jordan-esque when it comes to being a GM.
He somehow thought Kwame Brown was the next. I don't even know.
All right, so I know why that one happened. So Kwame Brown and Tyson Chandler were having a workout for the Bobcats, and they were playing one-on-one, and Kwame Brown dunked all over Tyson Chandler's face right in front of Mike. Looked at him as soon as his feet landed, looked at him, pointed at him in his face, and said something like, "I'm the number one pick." And then the rest is history. That's how it happened. That's a true story.
Well, I know at that time, too, Kwame Brown, he got busy in the McDonald's All-American game, and I think at that point he had the record for most points scored until that got broken, I think, by Julius Randle.
Yeah, who's balling right now? Jesus, good God. How's he? He should be an MVP candidate, to be perfectly honest with you.
Small mentality, I'll tell you that. He said it was a conversation with Kobe had to, like, every city he goes to, he finds a gym to work out. And that's his whole body changed, his whole mind.
Nah, he should definitely be in the conversation for MVP this year.
Oh, sure.
Especially if they keep on going on this streak.
The Knicks are a 4 seed right now.
I know.
What is it, the 90s? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Roger Harper, what up, homie?
There
What
he
up,
is.
gentlemen? What's happening? What's happening?
Yo, we get to break down your favorite team on the planet this week.
Who's at the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Well, they got the 10th pick now, I heard.
Yeah, but we also, before we even jump into those assholes, because don't nobody really like the Cowboys in this screen.
You know I couldn't miss this week.
Well, of course. But it is the draft coming up this week, homie, so a lot of interesting things going off. So let's lead off this with the biggest story in my mind. Falcons are officially taking phone calls for Julio Jones. $23.6 million they'll save if they can trade him. And they are like, $23 million they'll save, and they're $26 million over the cap or something, so they can't keep him. They literally cannot keep Julio Jones and sign a single draft pick. So they are officially taking calls for Julio. So the biggest question is now, well, there's two. What does Julio have left in the tank? Because this isn't Julio from 5 years ago. Let's not be mistaken here. He's not going to command multiple number one picks in order to get him anymore. But where does Julio end up?
We had the same conversation about AJ Green.
Yeah.
And who kicked the tires on him? It was the Cardinals. So it wouldn't be funny if the two players from the same draft class, the two top receivers, then both move on from their drafted teams in the same year. If you're looking at, Detroit has too many other things going on. Chicago needs a damn quarterback, but they could use. I don't know what their cap situation looks like, but just if we're looking at teams who definitely use his talents.
Oh yeah, all of them. All of them. Yeah. All of them. It's Julio fucking Jones, dude.
But which Julio are you getting? A Julio that plays 6 games? Or a Julio who can at least give you 13, 14 games?
Well, I'll tell you where I believe would be the most ridiculous fit possible, and since they have never once in their history helped this guy out at all, Green Bay.
I was gonna say,
because then he doesn't have to carry the load as a full one. He can now diminish his workload a bit and start taking on the Larry Fitzgerald Twilight career mold, which would fit and extends your career as a receiver. But we all know Green Bay's not making no moves that help their offense and Aaron Rodgers at all. They don't do things like that.
Well, also we have to see, because let's just be honest, Aaron Rodgers is about to get a new contract, so they're gonna have to back the Brinks up for Aaron, at least for another 2 seasons. So what would their cap situation look like after that? I don't know. So if they bring in an aging Julio who hasn't really shown much in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and who also allowed Calvin Ridley to come in and take his gerb.
Took his gerb. Got a guy named Zacchaeus, whatever his name is. Yeah, and then the slot receiver who was also balling.
Yeah, Gage.
Yeah, Gage. Russell Gage. Yes.
Well, so the way you can look at it, since they are trying to jettison Julio Jones, you can almost absolutely guarantee they're taking Pitts in the draft.
Pitts, I was gonna say. So now that begs the question.
They're not going to trade out. They're going to take Pitts to replace Julio, right?
Immediately then jumps to Pitts instead of quarterback.
So what that does, that trickle-down effect means the next team on the board that's going to be looking at possibly a quarterback is Denver at 9, and then you have New England at 15. So Carolina, since
which guarantees Cincinnati to take
Penny,
even if it's not Penny Sewell, they have one other tackle rated ahead of.
Yeah, they're definitely taking a tackle. So you're looking at, and being a Patriots fan, dude, they're gonna jump up to that spot. I always had them jumping up to Atlanta anyway. to go grab a quarterback. But now they're going to jump up and take Carolina's spot, one spot ahead of the Broncos, and they're going to go get Justin Fields.
Fields, yep.
And then
If San Francisco knows that they control this top half, these top 5. Well, they really control the top 15. Because whether they grab Mac Jones, if they don't grab Mac Jones,
they're not going to.
Then Mac could slide. And so you say Trey Lance or Justin Fields. I don't know if Justin Fields lasts past 3.
He does, because the San Francisco 49ers, the rumors that are coming out, the leaks have been that the Niners have been in constant communication with Trey Lance's parents.
Trey Lance.
With his family and whatnot, so not just him. So you're now looking at Jimmy G possibly staying in San Francisco for another year, but at the press conference today, Kyle Shanahan was very effusive on Jimmy G, and so, yeah, basically just shitting all over him.
Could really be taking that. And he's also said, hey, Jimmy G can take that. He'll just take it as competition. So he just gave himself free reign to shit all over Jimmy G with no consequences.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking at them taking Trey Lance because that's the rumors. They've really just been high on him. So either way, Mac Jones, Trey Lance. It's not going to be Justin Fields.
But you have to talk to Trey Lance's people because he's only played one full season of college ball. Granted, they did win the FCS championship, but then he played one game this last season. You saw what Justin Fields did. I mean, it's undeniable. He went to twice, beat the team that beat him last year, even though they could have won. Some would argue should have won last year, and then got his ribs cracked. Still threw 5 more touchdowns, and then was still game to play against Alabama, most talented team in the nation. And you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying, but he slid.
I'm sorry.
He slid because Mac Jones reportedly has a photographic memory, and they gave him a playbook, and within hours, he literally was teaching other people the entire offense. So.
Which is all good because Justin Fields also graded out to have one of the greatest grades, whatever those stupid ass tests that they give you. So, what are we saying? He's smart. He's athletic. He's more athletic. He's faster, obviously. He's just more dynamic in the
but you know what's going to happen? He's going to slide down, and the Patriots are going to be able to go snag Justin Fields.
Well, I know that's what you want. I get that. I know you really want it. But if I'm John Lynch, I don't let that kid slide past me. I'm sorry. Because Jimmy G's going to get hurt. And then I could put him right in. Let's see. Let's go, kid.
So either way, the Patriots are going to end up with either Mac Jones or Justin Fields. It looks like they're going to end up there, depending on what Carolina does. But I'm telling you, the Patriots, I've done the draft simulator about 30 times, and that trade between Carolina and New England is really easy to make. Every other trade that I tried to make, they just kept rejecting it. But that one was super easy because it just makes sense.
Also needs a QB. I think they played out of it with all teams. New England.
Yeah, but they just did the whole Sam Darnold thing. So, Kerry, you're looking at a commitment of $28 million to their quarterback room already. You're really going to bring in another rookie and whatnot. So they're going to look elsewhere, depending on if they can move Teddy Bridgewater. So the one thing that makes the New England trade make so much sense, they have Stephon Gilmore as a trading block. It's not just draft capital. It's also Stephon Gilmore because they want to get rid of his contract.
And if you compare him up with Chin,
that's what I'm saying. So now that trade with New England is extremely enticing because it's not just trading for potential. You're trading for a proven commodity defensive player of the year, all-pro, monster shutdown corner.
Gilmore went to South Carolina, not North Carolina, but South Carolina. So Southern. He's a Southern player. I can see the appeal for him. Get out of that cold-ass weather.
Yeah. He's already gotten paid. New England rarely pay anybody, but they paid him. And he got title. He got rings with it, and he got a defensive player of the year. There's nothing else he can prove up there. Go, get money and go somewhere else.
He can help a young secondary in a division where, it's going to be a tough-ass division, obviously. But I mean, fool around, you could get maybe second place because nobody knows what New Orleans is going to look like, and nobody knows, excuse me, what Atlanta's going to do. So, yeah, you can make some noise in the South.
Yeah, so, I mean, it makes sense. There are very few teams moving into the draft that have a piece of draft capital as far as a proven player.
Sure.
Usually that happens before. Like last year, it was DeForest Buckner was the big move for, and you saw what that impact did for their defense.
Huge.
And that's just going to go lead towards more GMs taking that approach of, I'll fuck this draft pick. You can have this draft pick. I'm going to go trade it for somebody that I already know has proven themselves. Like, fuck it. Who cares?
And you know what's so crazy? Now we're not even talking about Deshaun Watson. That piece has been completely moved off the board. So I think teams are not even, until his whole situation shakes out, they're acting like he's not even in the league.
He basically isn't right now.
So,
I mean, the best thing that's happening for Deshaun Watson right now, this happens to be draft week, so nobody's talking about Deshaun Watson.
right.
At least in the football world, we're all like, who cares? Whatever. This is draft week. This is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
For like football fans. I don't think there's any other sport where the fans are so involved with the draft like this.
As far as the draft, you don't see this in baseball. I mean, basketball, a little something, but you don't see this in hockey.
Not really in basketball, Kerry, because basketball is only 3 rounds. It's either 2 or 3 rounds. 2. See, it's only 2.
But people really checking, especially, they checking for the lottery picks.
Of course you do. But the NFL is different, man. You got people watching this shit for 3 days.
3 days.
Yep.
You're tuned in.
Yeah, I happen to be one of those people. I will sit here and smoke blunts and watch every single pick go across and scrutinize all of them because I am an NFL fan and all other sports suck.
I still, you know how I feel about Michael Pittman Jr., the wide receiver out of USC who went to the Colts. I still want him on my team. Just watch. Next year, he's going to get busy.
I mean,
I think Wentz will realize what he has in him and get him the rock.
Yeah, he should. He should. He's young. He's big. He's fast. He definitely got the moxie.
He's got that moxie.
He got that moxie. Here, quarterback, you want to come over? No. I don't care if I had 1 touchdown and 56 yards last season. You're not getting my fucking number.
Right.
That was his stat line was like 240 yards and 1 touchdown for the year, and he's like, nah, I'm keeping this number. Fuck you.
I was here first.
Even if it was only 1 year.
You lost your job. You weren't TB12. You know what I'm saying? Last I saw you, you lost your job to a player who many thought couldn't even play quarterback in the league. So, yeah, you have nothing to say to me. Except, I'm going to get you the rock, which you better.
Other big move this week. The Chiefs, who we thought were shedding offensive line talent, are now amassing offensive line talent. And they just traded. See, that's another one. The Chiefs are all in. This is the new NFL. Fuck draft picks. You take them shits. I want pieces that can contribute now. They trade draft capital for Orlando Brown. So, 4 weeks ago, their offensive line looked pretty fucking suspect. And then a month later, it's a whole different unit now.
Well, I mean, you look at Andrew Whitworth, right? So when the Giants got I forget his name now, from the Patriots, the left tackle who's
Nate Solder.
Thank you. I punted his name out of my mind. I really wanted Andrew Whitworth. Andrew Whitworth instead goes to the Rams. Rams go to the Super Bowl. I mean, we're not just going to put all that on it. It was a huge piece in helping the run game and Gurley get busy and to help protect Goff. So having a line that can protect your young quarterback and keep your run game steamrolling, important. And we clearly saw what Mahomes looked like when he had no line. I mean, he was still doing amazing things out there, but you don't want to see that. You don't want to see your quarterback flying through the air trying to complete a pass.
No, not at all. So it's really funny, Roger. If you look at the NFL arms race right now, it's turned into the NBA, essentially. There are super teams in the NFL right now. And it seems to me there's like 4 teams that are just basically going all in. They move their chips all into the table right now, like, fuck this shit. And there's 2 on each side. Tampa Bay, by re-signing everybody, incredible. I don't know how in the world they said we're going for 2. Fuck this shit. The Rams have gone all in multiple times. They gave everybody huge contracts. And now they got Matthew Stafford, so there's no excuses out there anymore. And on the opposite side, Kansas City has re-upped their entire offensive line. Their skill set, like, forget about it. It's retarded over there. And then the quiet one out of the quadrant of super teams is the Browns. Because they are already loaded, and then they added Clowney.
And we have to remember, Grant Delpit, the rookie safety that they chose out of LSU last year, is going to finally be healthy and be able to get back on the field.
And so also Denzel Ward is coming back at full health.
Yeah, he re-signed him too.
They are loaded.
And you got John Johnson III from the Rams, and you got their slot corner. So who was rated the top slot corner in the league last year. So,
they're like the unspoken super team because they have the history of being Cleveland.
All they have to do is literally not Browns it in this draft. Don't get cute. Don't try to trade up to try to get a Kyle Pitt. Don't get cute. Get what you can get, the best player available, especially defensively. If you can add to the offensive line, do that. Be smart. You have 2 monsters running the rock, and you get OBJ back. I mean, listen, you have enough riches on offense. You just need add to the line, add on both sides of the line, get an interior lineman on the defensive end, get a playmaking linebacker, great, and just keep building your line.
That's all they need. They essentially are looking at a middle of the field linebacker.
Yes.
And some offensive line depth and help. That's about it because they are loaded.
You are stacked.
Dude, their defensive front loaded. Yeah. Secondary loaded. Their offense retarded.
Let me say, this young GM, he is doing his damn thing. He is doing his thing. I like the way he's building his team. And I think it's safe to say that they won't make the mistakes of Browns teams of the past because the way he's been moving. And I love the way that head coach just has this team in line. And I like that.
Yeah, no, they're doing amazing. Somehow under the radar with that.
They're actually starting to they're building their team kind of like in a very Steelers Raven-esque way. You know what I mean? So, the 2 teams who have dominated that division for the last 20 seasons. So they're following that blueprint.
Boy, I mean, did they reap the rewards of being the Browns and nobody really caring about them signing Kareem Hunt because it was Cleveland. Like they would have been like the Raiders in Cleveland. People would have expected it, right? Oh yeah, of course they signed him. Yep. Or New England, because New England will take on all troubled cases. Yeah, whatever. Come here and we don't care. So nobody really cared, but oh my God, what a signing for them.
I said when it happened, I said, oh man, I don't really think people realize what just happened. They have the best backfield in the league. Easy.
And it's not that expensive because of what he did. Keeps his price tag down.
Exactly. And they're both young. He was young anyway. He was still on his rookie deal. So he had to prove it. He still had to prove it. And then you had Chubb, still on a rookie deal. So your backfield is cheap as hell, and there's 2 studs back there.
That's crazy. Roger Harper, your whole lifetime Ohioan. Cleveland has sucked your whole lifetime.
Yes, they have.
Last times in the 80s with Ernie and Ernie Binder and Webster Slaughter. Come on.
Yeah, but they're starting to make a name for, especially after the season they had last year. Upsetting Pittsburgh, especially in their last game of the season.
Oh yeah.
And did they sweep them last year or no? well, for sure.
No, right? Yeah.
No, because Pittsburgh was 11 or 12-0. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
Cleveland picked them, though.
But they
So
finished out strong, and the Cleveland fans are pretty excited, including my dad, who's an all-time Cleveland Browns fan. So they're very excited about the upcoming season.
Listen, they already fitting all their fingers for rings. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody fitting their finger for rings.
no, I mean it's exciting. The Browns have been terrible my entire lifetime, like just terrible, and it's exciting to see the entire organization change because the front office has changed. You know, Kerry, you're right. This new GM is killing it. This guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Great at talent evaluation, putting the team together, the right personalities and whatnot.
Well, I've seen the fumble and I've seen the drive. So Cleveland was like the almost. It's like they was right there and then some right there and some happened. And it was like that for all their sports. The Indians had teams. I mean, you can name players. They had tons of players. How did they win a World Series? What? Who else? The Cavs. When they had Price and Doherty and all them, they had some squads, but couldn't get it done. Craig Elo still like this. Michael Jordan's over there.
In the rafters.
So, yeah, it's time. Time to get a little love. I mean, well, thank goodness for LeBron James, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope to see, especially the football team. Their fans have been so loyal. You know, when your team just up and leaves you, and then, you know,
That was the city's fault. That was the mayor's fault. That was the city's fault. They put that on Art Modell, but he asked for a new stadium. They were like, hell to the no. And he's like, I will leave. I will take my state. I will take my team and leave. They played chicken. They lost. And what did they do? Then they had to go get a whole new team. That's on Cleveland. That's not on Art Modell. He's a businessman. He said, I need a new stadium. Y'all don't want to give it to me? Okay, this other city wants to give it to me.
well, you know, it was actually the city's fault because Football Karma worked its way out and then gave them an instantaneous Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Yep. Same thing happened to Houston when they let the Oilers walk. Bud Adams did the same thing. He said, I need a new stadium. The city of Houston was like, nah. He said, okay, well, Tennessee doesn't have a team and they want me to rock with them. And what happened? They went to the Super Bowl the year later and almost won the damn thing. So, yeah. And what did Houston have to do? Get a whole new damn team anyway.
And they have been a train wreck ever since.
Exactly. When you have the legends of this newly formed team all saying, fuck this team.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? As terrible as Cleveland has been, I don't hear Bernie Kosar going on TV and being like, "Yo, fuck the Browns."
There's still love. There's still mad love.
That's why it's so much fun to see them gaining success. And you guys know, I love Baker Mayfield. So when he finally started kicking it in and playing quarterback like he has the potential to, I was just like, finally, because I've been saying his name since I seen him in college. Like, oh, this guy is different. He's different. So there's another funny thing going on that just popped in my head thinking about tiny Baker Mayfield running around. There's a receiver in the draft, 149 pounds, 5'7". He's probably going to go in the second or third round.
Oh, yes.
Tuttle or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So there was a big discussion about this, how the NFL has shifted. Because you couldn't even be a kicker this small back in the day. Like,
look at Trey Smith. He's 6 feet, 166.
Yeah, that's
receiver.
140.
What school?
Bodybuilders.
What school?
Oh, you mean the other guy?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up. But they were just talking about it this morning, and I was just like, damn, he's under 150. This guy is tiny as shit. Like, it's only gonna take one shot.
Yeah.
Just one shot across the middle. Somebody.
But I mean, look, you still have Deshaun Jackson, who was in the league a long time. You still have Ted Ginn. These guys are not huge muscle guys. They were speed guys. Were they oft injured? Yes. But did they have success? Yes. Both things can be true. So
5'7", 149 though. That's tiny, dude. Because if you're listed at 5'7", 149, how big are you really?
He can't be 5'5".
I know.
Is he the
Darren Sproles? But Darren Sproles was like 2-something.
Yeah, his legs were like this, man. This guy is tiny, son. He's smaller than I am.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a little dangerous. That's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
That's a little
It
dangerous.
probably would take just one good hit to wake him up. You know,
It's only going to take one, man. Like,
Put him to sleep for a good long while.
yeah.
all right, what's his name? It starts with a T. Because he's so small that if you give him the ball in space, of course nobody can fucking. It's like a fly. Of course nobody can tackle him.
Yeah.
But that's college. And if you put that fly inside the Venus flytrap of an NFL defense, you're going to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most offensive guys who are short are thick as hell.
Yes.
I mean, like we're talking Maurice Jones-Drew, 5'6", 6'7", but 220, 30. You know, like he was a tank. You didn't, yeah.
All of them, like you said, even Darren Sproles.
Yeah, it was different. It's just different. You just can't be that slight.
Even with Deshaun Jackson, he was so fast. It's like you had to look past the fact that he was only 160 pounds. It was just like this guy's like Olympic tracks fast. So like just straight lines, straight lines. And you never really saw Deshaun Jackson ever take a shot because they never put him in that position, and he even couldn't stay healthy.
Well, punt returning.
Yeah.
Past season, the Giants laid a lick on him, and he took a shot. He got folded up.
And look what happened. He missed the rest of the season because his body.
He came back like the last 2 weeks or something. But he got destroyed. Yeah.
Mm.
So they have Darren Sproles was listed as 5'6".
Right.
That's havoc size.
I don't know if Darren Sproles can produce beats though. Can he produce a hell on earth?
No, he did
He
not.
can do a hell of a spin move though. That was his favorite move.
The Tariq Cohen's also 5'6".
Tariq Cohen, yeah.
Yeah, but look how fast he is.
Thick, and he's also thick.
Well, even the cheetah.
The cheetah, right? I was about to bring him up next.
Look how big his neck and everything is. It's like, and plus he's the fastest player.
Other guy who's not that, but he's still thick. McCole Hardman he's thick.
The cheetah might be the fastest player who's ever played NFL football. Like on-field speed, he might be the fastest player that's ever played. So, of course, you can look past the size. But now you're seeing things shift because you're looking at Kyler Murray playing quarterback. Dude, he's smaller. He's shorter than Doug Flutie was. Kyler Murray is tiny.
Yeah.
You know, so you're seeing a shift down to the less physical style of the NFL to where people... There's no more you got jacked on ESPN anymore, you know. It's...
I know.
Yeah, no more of that. They cleaned it up.
Yeah, no more of that. You got mossed.
Yeah, so you got mossed and things like that. And you see, like, offensive skill position players are taking the Rams' greatest show on turf model of, I'm not going to even take that shot. I'm just going to get out of bounds or just get down and keep it moving. Fuck this shit. Especially since these offenses are moving so quick. And, Kerry, you have to remember, with the greatest show on turf, there was a reason. It wasn't because they were Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt were smaller, because Torrey Holt was kind of thick.
Yeah.
It's the offense was moving so fast, they didn't want players laying on top of them and holding things down, so they just get down, lay the ball down, spot it, and get to the spot and keep it moving.
Yeah, right.
And now you're looking at the modern-day NFL, it's just, 70, 80, up to 90 plays ran on offenses sometimes now.
And we celebrate. We celebrate when defensive players make a great form tackle. So you got formed. You didn't even get jacked anymore.
Oh, and you see it instantly.
That's good. See his head placement? See his shoulder placement?
Well, you see it because the proper target strike, the physics of it, that's the hardest hit possible.
Yeah.
Because you're taking their center mass and driving it backwards. It's just those head collisions just looked great because that head snapped back and you could hear the plastic hitting each other.
Oh, balls.
Mouthpiece, and the pad that the buckles underneath your ear would go flying in the air and shit.
Yeah, no more of that.
None of that shit anymore. And when it does happen, I get, as much as I like it, dude, it's the NFL. I'm just like, oh man, I hope he gets up.
You get worried. I know. You feel for him.
Every single Roger Harper, every single time, I'm just like, oh man, get up. That dude's like, they just signed like an $80 million deal. Get up, dude.
Mm-hmm. Because we will for 1 second enjoy. We'll go, woo! Is he all right?
Ooh, yeah.
Is he all right? I mean, listen, they cheered at old Veteran Stadium when Michael Irvin hit his head on the turf and then didn't get up.
Mm-hmm.
It was Michael Irvin, though, and everybody fucking hates the Cowboys, so it makes sense.
Snowballs with rocks in them at Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. They booed Santa Claus, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, no, it's incredible.
It's a brand new day.
Yeah, it's completely, like, I just look at it, I'm just like, 149 pounds in the NFL.
That's amazing.
Dude, there's kickers that are like 240 something.
Sebastian Janikowski, 300 pounds.
Dude, Pat McAfee's like 6'1", played at like 245 as a punter.
Yeah, he was on magazines. Was it him? Or no, was it the Giants punter?
Yeah.
Who's on Men's Health.
Yeah, exactly.
Monster.
Yeah, that dude, and then the kicker for the longtime kicker for the Cardinals. Jay Feely.
Jay Feely for the G's, yeah.
Jay Feely used to run a sub 4.40. He was like a real athlete.
Yeah.
They always used to talk about how they were just like, yeah, dude, let him run a fake, man. He runs a 4.3.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, he's a soccer player, He just ran his whole life growing up, so.
Makes sense.
But I can't find who this guy in the draft is, but come on, Thursday they're going to bring it up. They're going to talk about it because it's like an anomaly.
This is also that one kid, Elijah
Moore.
Yeah, Elijah Moore. Yeah, he's kind of that same sort of.
You got Elijah Moore like that, and then you got the kid from LSU that's the exact opposite, who's like 6'8", fucking
giant. Jr. Right.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this was loaded with receiver talent. But that's what I was saying, though. Like, so if we see Kyle Pitts go to Atlanta, now all these teams who are starving for receivers, that can trigger the receivers to start.
Well, the next pick right after that is Miami, and they're going to take Jamar Chase. That's like almost guaranteed.
Right. Yeah. And so then the Bengals, they got to go.
They have to go with Penny.
They got to go line. They just got to go line. Dallas, I saw your boy Jerry Jones talking about taking a defensive player.
I look for the Cowboys, depending on what the Lions do, because the Lions, since they're not going to be, there's not a quarterback that's going to be in the spot for them. I don't know if they're going to take one of these Alabama wide receivers that early in the draft when they have so many holes to fill. So I look at the Lions to go linebacker, probably Micah Parsons from Penn State.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. So then now with Sean Lee retiring from the Cowboys are definitely taking a linebacker.
Yeah. So then if that happens, then I see them taking that the linebacker out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Wosu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that'll happen. So then that would leave the Giants to make the decision whether they're going to go receiver, because then Devontae Smith will still be there. Terrence Marshall Jr. will still be there.
Jalen Waddle will still be there too.
Jalen Waddle could potentially still be there. Or do you then go with the defensive end from Michigan, Quiddy? I can't say his name.
Quiddy.
Quiddy.
Yeah, Quiddy.
Quiddy or Gregory Rousseau out of Miami, even though he sat out, and the other defensive end has been getting all the hype.
I thought the dude Phillips was from Miami.
He is, but Rousseau sat out. Phillips got busy.
Yeah.
He was the one left. Just like Devontae Smith got busy, Waddle was hurt.
Well, the same thing happened. Well, I keep. All right, so not only did he stay and Justin Jefferson left, But Jamar Chase also sat out last year as a COVID holdout. So nobody even got to. People forget that in LSU how dominant that guy was, even over top of Justin Jefferson.
Which is why I didn't think much about Jefferson when he came out. I was like, he's good, but Jamar Chase is the dude. But Jefferson obviously showed what he had.
Well, I knew I could see his footwork.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, you could see it in his route running, how like his cuts, he's so low, his hips get so low to the ground. It's too smooth. It's too. I was like, oh, if you can cut that smoothly, you will create that little split of separation that's required in the NFL. And he got busy.
They were actually looking for Jerry Jeudy to have a season more like Jefferson did, but Jefferson really blew it out. But the only one who had a season even close to being comparable is my guy T. Higgins.
T. Higgins got busy. Justin Jefferson reminded me of just how Calvin Ridley came in and just stepped in and just took over.
Sure
same build, same fluidity, same everything. But you have to remember, Jamar Chase was getting fucking busy in LSU. Like busy, like Biletnikoff winner busy as a sophomore. Biletnikoff winner. So Miami is going to get an absolute stud. Like, you have to take this guy.
Yeah.
You got to have an actual Heisman winner who's going to get at the same position, who's going to get drafted behind you. That's how dope you are.
And you didn't even play.
You didn't even play. Stud, absolute beast.
Which is why it's crazy to take fucking Trey Lance over Fields. Quarterback is different. I want my quarterback to have played. Trey Lance didn't play. He played one game. And not against competition.
Yeah, you know what, Kerry? I'm looking at the Josh Allen effect, kind of helping Trey Lance's case a little bit. Yes, he did, but
Carson Wentz played. They had tape. We saw them. My man, we didn't even know who Ben DiNucci was. Guess who one of Trey Lance's opponents was last year? It was not last year, the year before. Ben DiNucci in a playoff game. We didn't even know who Ben DiNucci was. And he started a game for Dallas.
Ben DiNucci's name just got said. His name just got said more times in one 1 second than his entire career. All right, so I'm going to shut down this hour, and it's time to roll the fuck up and send you guys another email, and we will continue to break down the draft that's coming this week, and we'll talk about how we're going to figure out how the hell we're going to do a draft spectacular or whatnot. We'll figure something out. So I'll see you guys in about 45 seconds. Flea, what up, homie? All right, my computer's acting like an asshole. I got to do things backwards. Why are you not letting me... There we go. I don't know why my computer does this sometimes. Billy Lines, what up, homie? Yes, it is football talk with the motherfucking homie Roger Harper and Carrie, and there's a distinct possibility that Nice might pop in at some point. I imagine he'll probably pop in Thursday night for the draft thing. Yeah, Flea, you know what's crazy about Tavon Austin is there was not a single team in the NFL that could figure out how to use him properly. Like, nobody could. Nobody could figure out how to get that guy in open space. So, it sucked too. Considering he went to WVU, I was a huge fan. And, you know, the fact that I played at 5'7", 160 pounds, I'm a big supporter of any professional football player that is undersized. That is for sure. All right, there we go. The gang's all back. Connect. There we go. Yo, so could you imagine, since both of you guys were safeties, seeing a 149-pound slot receiver catch the ball and not have his head on a swivel?
You mean a light snack? You talk about a light snack? An in-game snack is what you're talking about.
Yo, Roger Harper, could you imagine how hard would you probably had to killed him? Roger Harper.
Yeah.
149 pounds, son. Come on, man.
I'm still trying to find who this kid is. Did y'all find out who he was?
No, I can't find it. Google's not being kind to me, but he is tiny.
I would talk to the coach on the sidelines, the opposing coach, to say, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this dude like this? Don't do him like this. Don't do him like this, coach. Because you know what I have to do. Don't do him like this."
So I've told this story numerous times. I believe it was second or third year of college. I had gotten heat exhaustion because, this is back in the 3-a-day days, and, threw up a bunch of times. And this is way before and after practice camp. And I had dropped too much weight during the day because I had lost all my water weight from throwing up. Like, right before weigh-ins at the end of fucking meetings and shit. They made me sit out until I got back up to above 160 pounds. It wasn't even it wasn't even a water issue. They were just like, yo, dude, you see how big everybody is? If you're not at least 160, I will not even let you on this field. This is why this is blowing my mind that in the NFL, an offensive player is going to be on the field to get drafted at 149 pounds. This is incredible. I cannot wait to see somebody hit this guy and see how many rotations in the air he actually does before he lands.
Right. I mean, we're talking about, I've seen a grown man, Steve Atwater, hit Christian Okoye, who was 6'3", 240 pounds, 250 pounds, and knock him backwards.
Yeah.
And Steve Atwater, for those who don't know, Steve Atwater was a safety, one of the hardest hitting safeties.
And not that big.
And not that big. So, but he knocked back a 6'3", 250 pound bruising human being. That same hit applied to someone who's 140 what? We got to get EMS to pick him up. That's just bottom line. That's his bottom line.
So Roger, you have to think about it. It's not even the physics of it, just the sheer physics of size and force, right? It's also the skill of hitting. Like, Steve Atwater wasn't that big, but he had such good timing and understood leverage that he just laid people out. So now you have the people who are the most skilled at a very niche ability, being able to knock your fucking head off on the football field. Those are the guys that are going to be lined up against you now. This is...
Imagine Bob Sanders hitting him.
Yeah. Bob Sanders was only 5'8". Bob Sanders just killed this guy.
5'8", 205 pounds.
Brian Dawkins, John Lynch.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Roger Harper. Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Come on. I worry about that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yo, I could see somebody. Imagine if like Ray Lewis or Brian Urlacher were still playing, and this kid came across the middle. I could see them just grabbing him and holding him on their shoulder and not even hitting him. Like, nah, little buddy, I can't do this to you. I couldn't do it.
Ray Lewis ended Dustin Keller's career. He ended his career when Dustin Keller was the hot shit tight end for the Jets. Ray Lewis put one hit on him on a Monday night game. Keller was never the same again, and then I think a season or two later he was gone.
And even by today's standards, that Dustin Keller hit was completely legal. Shoulder to target. He hit him in the center of his sternum.
And laid him down. Yeah.
Ray Lewis also made Eddie George into a 1.3 yard per average ball carrier after he sent him flying sideways.
He also ended Le'Veon Bell's rookie season when Le'Veon Bell was talking shit about the Ravens. It was like, nah, it'll be fine. And then EMS had to come pick him up.
And literally talking shit about the Ravens. Ray Lewis met him in the hole, and which bones did he break?
I think did he break like his forearm or some shit like that?
Yeah, it was somewhere in his whatever Ray Lewis hit first broke on Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, you could talk that shit from the hospital bed. Yeah.
Wow. So imagine that on 149. Oh my God, it's just blowing my mind. That's so small. That's smaller than me now, and I'm like, I think I'm underweight.
And here's the thing, y'all. We get it. These players like Devontae Smith, he played in the SEC. I get it. But an SEC, we can all agree, it's the best league in collegiate football, right? But this is the league. You not gonna have any scrubs up here. Like, everyone is here for a reason, and it's even more dangerous because now they're making money and they want to stay on the team. This is for their family. So if you make them look silly, you taking money out their pockets, which takes food out of their families' mouths. They're not going to allow that to happen. So if they have to put you in the hospital to keep their family fed, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. They'll shake hands with you after the game, but in between the lines, when there's still seconds on that clock, they're looking to destroy you. So, yeah, this is a different beast. Because I hear that people say, well, they played in this league in college. Who gives a shit? It's not the league. It's not the league. Period. Point blank.
Yep. Something about that league, definitely, everybody's good. You know, any team can win, any team can lose on Sunday, you know?
I mean, you're literally looking at the 1% of the 1%. And they have to understand that. And then it's the 1% of the 1% of the 1% that lasts longer than 3 years.
Exactly.
That excel. Like, it's such a small percentage of humans. So and that's the crazy thing. Like Terrell Davis, perfect example of people who don't excel in college and then get to the grandest stage in all of football and then ball out for some reason.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine he probably would have done the same thing in Georgia if given the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, you also had, let's see. I mean, you had Robert Edwards, who was playing defense before he switched over to offense.
Yeah, but then came and got busy in the NFL for a little short run.
Before he got hurt. Yeah. But what I'm saying, yeah.
So, it's interesting. All right, so now we got to talk about these motherfucking assholes. God, fucking. You know what? I'm gonna be a professional. Let's talk about the Cowboys, everybody. There are Cowboys fans out there, so let's talk about these motherfucking Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
All right, so clearly the biggest deal with the Cowboys is re-signing Dak. We talked about this when it happened. This was a huge deal. The timing of it was stupid. How they drug it out. Who knows what's going on there? But they got Dak locked in. He's there. He's the guy. So now, as we do with every team, how do you fix the Cowboys, who are the most consistently underperforming team in the history of professional sports? They have not won a playoff game in like fucking 20 years or something retarded. And somehow Jerry Jones is a marketing genius that they have still kept themselves in the public persona when they are literally an 8-8 machine.
Every year.
Well, now when you have 17, are they going to be 8-9 or 9-8? Which
no, they're going to be 8-1. I already determined they're going to end up tied. It's still going to be 500. They're still going to somehow, no matter who coaches, who quarterbacks, their roster on paper, especially not last year, but a few years ago, their roster on paper was the best roster in the NFL, and they still went 8-8.
Sure. I just have to say, look, you look at press conferences around the league, and who do you mostly see at these press conferences? The head coach,
There you
right?
go.
But you go to the Dallas press conference, it's Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, and the head coach. The head coach looks like the water boy. Like, can I get you anything, Jerry? Can I get you anything, Steve? Like, Jerry Jones is still running this whole circus, which is why it will remain a circus, because he doesn't know how to step back and let the people do their thing.
He only was able to do that once.
Right.
And that's when he let Jimmy Johnson, who's got a bigger persona than he does, even.
You know what happened?
Yeah, you get multiple titles.
But no, he wanted that to be him. That's that ego. It's that ego.
He pulled the same. It's like Jerry Reinsdorf almost. It's the fucking same thing that he did. Like, oh, nah, I'll break up the Bulls and prove it was me.
You're going to break up the Bulls. That doesn't even make sense. How do you get rid of Phil Jackson no matter what? No matter what, they were getting rid of Phil after that second three-peat. No matter what? So if I win a title, he's still gone? When we can actually go for 4? Because everyone is still with it to come back? What? Your ego is that huge? That doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. That makes sense to me. So, thank you, Jerry. I thank you, buddy. You keep doing what you do.
I mean, you know, it allowed somebody else besides Mike to win a title for a change.
Yeah, but I will say, in the NFC East for sure, and arguably in they're at least top 3 best receiver room in the league. I mean, you look at the studs they have at receiver.
Yeah, loaded.
Loaded. So now you got to talk about the offensive line. If they lost people.
They need to see clearly. It's you have to restore the offensive line and revert back to what made Dallas successful, which was control the clock. And that offensive line was amazing for about 3 years.
Run game.
But you also you guys knew there was no way they were going to be able to afford that entire offensive line for more than a few years because contracts were coming up and you had 3 first-team All-Pro players starting on your offensive line at once. You can't keep them all. It's impossible.
I remember a couple of retired and moved on. But first thing out of Jerry's mouth is he wants to go defense. Okay. You had your running back who you gave gobs of money to, who had a shit season. You had a quarterback who was clearly your team, like clearly your franchise quarterback, even though you weren't treating him like one, who got hurt. You're going to need to protect him because you saw how every quarterback who stepped in after that got ravaged. So the first thing you want to do is go defense.
All right, so in my mock draft, before Sean Lee retired, I had them going Patrick Surtain Jr. the entire time because his lineage is solid. That guy can play. But now the whole Sean Lee thing is a big deal. But Kerry, we also know this is the NFL. Mm-hmm. Corners, even if it's only potential, you're drafting. This is the draft. It's all on potential. Corners are in extreme high regard, much more so than middle linebackers and whatnot. So I still look for them to go secondary help, or if that D lineman from Alabama slides down because nobody needs a D tackle. Mm-hmm. He's rated like 4th or something on the draft board. But if he slides all the way down and is there, they might not be able to say no to that.
Well, what I'm saying though is, yeah, they have holes everywhere, and I get that. But if you're telling me that your power is on offense, then shore up the O-line first and then start building defense. That's what I would do. I would grab one of these linemen, one of these young linemen, so I have at least one of them under contract, young. I won't break the bank paying them, and then I get more insurance. Why do you have Zeke Elliott? For what? If you can't run behind that line, what do you have Dak? Why bring Dak back? For what? You have those studs at receiver. You're not going to get them a rock if the quarterback is on his ass all the time. So I would start O-line first, honestly. and then I would start building defense because they need help on in every tier of defense.
All right, so it's weird because
and defensive secondary. So
they're in a draft slot where they're not really going to be able to, since what they're looking at is possibly linebacker, guard maybe. There's no centers even listed in the top 50 fucking players, so who knows when a center is going to be taken. But they're not in a position where they're at to trade back to get more draft capital to be able to add more pieces because they're at 10. Nobody's going to want to trade up to that spot.
Sure.
All the quarterbacks, it's somehow, some way, all the quarterbacks got front loaded in the front.
But you can get one of the top 3 tackles.
Yeah, because of how the top end's going to shake out.
Exactly.
You're going to look, like I said, that D tackle from Alabama, he's going to slide down the board just because of who teams are drafting at the top of the draft board, right? And then you're looking at somebody like Najee Harris might not even go in the first fucking round. Mm-hmm. Because it's quarterback, guaranteed, right? Guaranteed. And then you got Pitts is going to be 4th. And then you're looking at Jamar Chase and Penny, and then you're looking at wide receiver, a run on wide receivers, and then on corners because you got Asante Samuel Jr. also.
Yeah, he's dipping. Yeah,
so
stud receivers dip down, and then you have all the stud defensive people dip down.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I said a couple weeks ago I believe that this draft second round could be one of the best second rounds talent-wise that we've ever seen because how the top end of the draft is all of a sudden shook up. Remember a couple months ago, it wasn't really like this. It wasn't going to be quarterback. Right. Mac Jones wasn't in the conversation.
The hell wasn't.
It was Trevor Lawrence and then Justin Fields.
Yeah.
This kid from BYU wasn't, and Zach Wilson wasn't in the conversation as going at 2 until he had his pro day. And everyone saw that tape of that throw, and it was just oh, wait a minute, he has the potential of Patrick Mahomes. Now I'm going to draft him.
I always, and this is a cautionary tale. It's the Mike Mamula effect. I don't know how many people remember Mike Mamula, defensive end. Was he had a fairly decent college career, but his combine, he really worked. He hired a sports agency, really worked on his combine, put up crazy combine numbers, ends up going very high to the Eagles. His pro career, kudos, he had one.
Boston College, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. His pro career, he didn't, he never lived up to the promise of his combine. He was a combine superstar. Never lived up to that.
That's happened a bunch of times. That has happened many, many times. You will see somebody whose measurables jump off the chart. So the funny thing is this year you're not going to see a combine superstar because it's only been pro days, and we all know that the numbers at pro days are a little bit inflated. Mm-hmm. Everybody's 40 times always a little bit faster at their pro day, right? Mm-hmm. So we didn't really see any workout warriors. You aren't seeing somebody. There's no. I've been watching draft coverage every morning for the last 2 weeks, trying to get some knowledge and whatnot. And nobody's oh my God, this guy threw up fucking 56 reps in the bench, or his broad jump was a world record.
And Sewell threw it up quite a few times.
Well, yeah.
He didn't play last year. But he needed to do that, though.
Well, Kerry, you're not seeing anybody. There's nobody running a 4.19 at the combine that just shot up the board because all of a sudden you're just well, wait a minute, he's faster than everybody. Right. That's not going to happen this time.
Because of that throw, because of that tape, Zach Wilson shot way the hell up, and we don't know truly what he's going to be yet.
Well, I mean, we know he can make the throws, but can't he play quarterback in the NFL? Whole different beast.
Can he make these reads? Can what I'm saying? Yeah. Can he read a defense? Can he go through his progressions? Will he take what the defense is giving him, or will he try to force it down?
Can he adjust on the fly once the ball is snapped and the defense has now shown what they're actually doing post snap. Or my favorite thing in the NFL is those delayed blitzes and stunts.
Sure.
Because,
And with that, does he keep his eyes down the field, or does his eye level drop to those blitzes that we were just talking about?
well, that's one thing you have to give Tom Brady credit for. Even at fucking 187 years old, his eyes never go down. He is always looking up.
I saw how you did that. You chose 187 for a reason, even if it was subconscious. I saw what you did there. Murderer!
Oh, yo, did you see the video of it was Tom Brady, DJ Khaled,
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was ripping on Tom.
Yeah. Kevin Hart said it was called Tampa Bay. That was funny.
All right, so just a side question before we get back into these Cowboys things, just because it's the relevancy of it. What do you do if you're Tampa Bay as far as this draft? Like, your whole team is back. Like, everyone's back. Except AB. Like, what do you...
Okay. So, where are they picking?
32nd.
I know, but, like, do they have second in the second round? Are they all... Is it all backloaded? Because, I mean, how much longer is Tom going to play? This would be a great opportunity to grab someone like a Kellen Mond. I don't know about Trask. I'm iffy on Trask. I do like Kellen Mond, though.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor already.
Out of A&M, I like him a lot. He's improved every single year. He's a hard worker. He's a team leader. Like, players rally around him. He's only gotten better throughout his career. I mean, if I'm them, hey, draft a quarterback. Why not? You're set at receiver. They got young receivers, all that. They're pretty set at running back. You have studs throughout that defense. So, yeah, you got to go D lineman. They can get more D linemen because, Sue ain't going to be there forever. They could go D lineman route.
They're really drafted for depth. It's incredible.
Eventually replace Levante David. They're really young in the defensive secondary. So we're looking at O-lineman, a quarterback, and defensive line.
Yeah. I could actually see them like drafting a kicker in like the 6th round or something.
They could even do that. Yeah, because they picked up that free agent kicker. That just was like whatever. They definitely need another center.
Yeah. Yeah, because AQ Shipley did get hurt, so that hurts them. But, dude, they're literally drafting for depth, so you could see them trading out of the 1st round because they don't even need it. It's just like whatever. Let's fucking flip it for some future picks or something.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them going at quarterback. That would make sense.
Yeah, why not?
Well, before the Mac Jones frenzy of him flying up the draft boards, I saw him falling. If he possibly took an Aaron Rodgers fall and fell down the boards, he'd be perfect to sit underneath of Tom Brady with his photographic memory and whatnot.
I mean, but so would Kellen Mond.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say Trask, but I'm a little...
I think
for my taste, I would take Mond over Trask.
I think Trask was the beneficiary of having 2 absolute and total monsters
Right.
on his side. Like, especially Pitts. Like,
Right.
they're talking about the greatest tight end prospect of all time, so you can imagine what he did against college defenders.
Yeah.
We saw it. They played 8 games. He had 12 fucking touchdowns. That's retarded. That's high. Those are high school numbers.
And in high school, he started out as a quarterback and was like, "Yeah, this is not for me. I want to be tight end."
Yeah, so because there's so much hype around him, I started watching a lot of highlight films about him. I mean, he makes a lot of contested catches, which is great. He looks like a basketball player. He actually looks more like a power forward than he does a football player.
Gates, like, it's perfect. It happens. It's perfect at that position.
He is going to have to learn about the physicality of the NFL because he goes down with almost the first shot from everybody. Like, the first guy was bringing him down almost every time, if somebody was around him. But, boy, can he make contested catches.
Yeah. He has the body frame, not quite yet, but he has the skinnier body frame of a Shannon Sharp. So if he could bulk up,
he will.
And if he get he will, I know. But if he gets anywhere to fill out like Shannon, Shannon, yeah, Shannon was that tweener dude, but then Shannon could also block, and he figured that thing out. If he could figure that thing out, I mean, we're talking about.
No, he physically reminds me most of Aaron Hernandez, body build wise, because he's taller and he's leaner, but he doesn't move that fluid. He's a little bit. It's just it's. Yeah, it's there's something about it. It's a little bit robotic and stiff, but I'm telling you, it just.
Well, he's big.
He is big, but for being that big, I don't want to say the first hit. It's easy to take him down. It looks like he's not. There was no effort to just blow through people with being that big. You got safeties and corners coming up and hitting him, and he just cradles the ball and goes down, instead of being like, get the fuck off of me and just keeping it moving because he's so goddamn big. And it just happened time and time again. I'm just like, this is interesting. This guy goes down. He's pretty easy to tackle. So that was really interesting. He's going to have to learn because the NFL.
Also, I'll just throw this out. What if he was doing? What if he was making business decisions?
Possibly.
And he wasn't. He knew, like, if I just maintain, and I could just make it through this season unscathed.
Well, no, I watched from his freshman year. I watched it. It was like a 30-some minute long highlight.
He was always getting.
It was from the beginning. I was just like, all right, he's young. He's big. You could tell he's young, just the way he moves and whatnot. He was really thin. But he just kept going down, and I'm just like, he's not breaking very many tackles for being that big. Which, it's not that concerning, but it is. This is a factor.
If you telling me he's that big and he's great at making contested catches, end zone threat all day.
Yeah, dude. Double team didn't matter. He understands how to high point and also how to use his body as a shield so that he can get the ball. It was
when you get hit in the end zone, it doesn't matter if you fall down. Touchdown.
He really looked like a basketball player in college who never played football before. And now he's playing football.
Right.
With the way he was running the ball and whatnot. I was just like, man, there's no, football instinct. But then when the ball is up in the air and they were showing the contested catches, I was just like, oh, my God, he has so much body control. So much body control.
Right.
I'm telling you, he constantly is using his body, and he will push off with his hips to create separation so is the only one. And I was just like, oh, that's really advanced.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, DK Metcalf, the leap that he took that we talked about. Like, oh, my God. That's what I kept saying. Like, who has he been working with?
Seattle is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we talked about. That's what I see with this Pitts kid. But I just want to see some broken tackles, man. It's the NFL. It's a physical league.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get a first down sometimes on your own.
I think he'll get there, but also still play your game. Like, don't try to be something that you're not. Don't try to be Gronk, and then you're hurt every other play.
Well, okay, so, Roger, if that was your teammate, like you knew he was coming in the locker room and you saw the highlights of just getting tackled so easily, the first thing you're going to question is, how big is this guy's heart? Like, exactly. His physical skills are off the fucking charts, but how big is your heart? Because I don't see it on the field.
Exactly. He would definitely cut his heart. I mean, get tackled on the first. I mean, he's supposed to avoid the first tackle, but to get tackled on the first, it won't look. It's not. Don't look good. Put it like that.
Well, I'd say this. I would say yeah, but then also, what does he look like in crunch time? And if he had an opportunity to cross that goal line and score to either get us in position to try to win or to win or whatever the case may be, and then he was soft on that goal line, I would definitely have something to say. But if he fell down all game just getting hit, but he fought to get in that end zone, then I can't. Then I'm with him. Then I'm like, okay, I see a game. But like, if you just soft throughout, like if you fight in that end zone so that we can go places, I'll still rock with you.
I mean, that's why to me it sucks that he's going to end up going to Atlanta because the whole Julio Jones thing. Because Atlanta just is a soft team. It's a soft team. You got soft leadership.
Unfortunately.
So where if he would last till the 5th pick and go to Cincinnati, where he goes with Joey Backstreet Boys, who is a proven tough guy out there in a tough town,
Yeah.
you're just going to have to be tough.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's how Joe Mixon got into the good graces of the Cincinnati faithful, because he was just toughing it out behind no line, no whole line to speak of. Also, quick RIP shout out to Geno Hayes. Just 30 lost his life to liver disease.
Yeah, I saw that.
Baller. He was a baller. Yeah, it's tough. Just 33. Damn.
33 years old. Yep.
Yeah, that was tough. But a baller, tough guy. But someone who brought his hard hat to work every day.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta look at like Bob Sanders,
Sure.
small players, Walter Payton, undersized players whose heart was so gigantic.
Sure.
And then you look at big, giant, soft players, and it's just like, that's what I see in Pitts, and it scares me, because football's different. It's different.
Like a player of his demeanor can't go to a team that's their demeanor already.
That's what I'm saying. This Atlanta thing might not be a good look for him.
Yeah. Honestly, I would really rather Atlanta go QB, because if you look, how long are you going to still rock with Matthew Ice Cream? I'm sorry. Just how much longer? You're talking about moving on from Julio, so that means you're talking about
Reset.
Right.
Well, they have to go at least one more year with Matt Ryan because of their contract scenario. It's
so then at that point, if we're saying that, now this could be an ill situation. If San Francisco goes Mac Jones and Justin Fields is still there, Justin Fields, Georgia native, Atlanta, bang, that could be perfection right there.
That would change the entire draft.
That would change it. That's what I'm saying. Atlanta's they're also in a power position. That could really switch things up. But think about it though. Justin Fields getting drafted by Atlanta, hometown, you immediately have the fan base, because he went to Georgia for 1 year, and the fans were going nuts because they just wanted him to play, but he didn't get enough reps behind Jake Fromm. So now you bring him in professionally. I mean, this kid, come on, he's a leader. He got the Big Ten to start playing football again. You see this kid's pedigree. He's a tough guy. So you talk about changing the culture in Atlanta, bring that kid in as your quarterback. That will definitely change the culture.
It's not going to happen. This is why this is the hoodie's Hail Mary shot. It's going to work out. He sold his soul a long time ago. So I know he got all his Super Bowl titles and everything, but for some reason the devil probably owes the hoodie a favor, because the hoodie knows how to leverage things properly, right? So he's going to end up with Justin Fields, who is like perfect, leadership galore, oozes it, tough guy, can handle the New England winter and whatnot, not going to bitch about it, and the intelligence to understand New England's offensive system. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Rock with me for a second. What if Atlanta does take Fields? Then what happens? You have Trey Lance still out there. You have Kyle Pitts still out there. So does Miami then say, well, shit, Pitts is there? I know they got Gesicki, but Pitts is there. So do they go Pitts or Jamar Chase?
Okay, so if Atlanta makes that move, right? Now you're looking at who wants to trade to get Pitts. Miami,
because then Miami will be in the power spot.
They will be in the power spot, and that what is it, 10 minutes you get, 9 minutes or whatever it is. They're taking all 9 to 10 minutes. They're going to be on the phone fielding calls, because this is the draft unicorn, and everybody expects him to go to Atlanta. It's like, this is going to happen, especially with the Julio Jones news.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're going phone calls galore with everybody who wants this kid.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll be honest with you. They got Hayden Hurst. I mean, I know Pitts projects to be way better than Hurst, but what I'm saying is they don't have to. You still got Calvin Ridley. You got other receivers. You got I mean, they got to worry more about running back situation than they do about like who's catching the rock. They got to worry about who's running the rock and who's throwing the rock.
Well, that's why I always looked for Atlanta. That's why they were my early pick to trade out with somebody who wanted a quarterback.
It looks like they're sticking tough. So if they stick tough and they grab Justin Fields, which I think would be a beautiful move on their part, then this whole draft is flipped up on its head. And a draft in which I've always felt there were going to be some monster trades, especially on the back end of the first round. But I mean, throughout the draft. But really, I think there's going to be a lot of movement, especially after picks like 12.
Once you get through the top 10, there's going to be so much movement because it's that top 10. Those guys are in a whole different class than the rest of the draft.
But if Atlanta picks Fields, the draft now goes in a frenzy because now you have Jamar Chase and Pitts sitting there. Who's going to grab? What's going to happen?
Yeah, because if you're looking at Miami possibly trading out, like there's a mistake that could be made. There's a risk reward. You might get draft capital, but if you're looking at Jamar Chase the entire time and you move out of that spot, do you move too far down that Detroit, who is now behind you, who just got rid of all of their fucking wide receivers, do they now jump on Jamar Chase? Of course they do.
Yeah, because they're set at running back. They're not worried about running back. You know, they have to build their whole defense. They obviously have to get playmakers at receiver.
They have Hawkinson, so they're not really worried about Pitts.
They're set at tight end. Yeah, so.
Yeah, no, they would definitely take Jamar Chase.
Of course.
Atlanta really holds the keys to the rest of the first round because whatever move they make right there will have a domino effect throughout the next 10 or so picks, because once you get into like you said 16 through especially in the late 20s, dude, these rosters are already set. These are playoff teams. Now they're just looking for depth and whatnot, and a lot of them are looking for leverage, and especially with the way the draft is going now, there's teams that are offering like 3-4 number ones. 4 fucking number ones, 4 years worth of number one draft picks and whatnot. So teams are like, yeah, you can have my 2028 number one pick, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl right now.
Because the roster turnover is so fast these days, now more than ever. The roster turnover is like,
I love it.
Yeah, I mean that's why you're just like, yeah, fuck you. But you're cautious to say fuck you too hard because they could be your teammate or they could be your coach next season.
The only thing is the on-field. You would think that possibly the on-field product might suffer a little bit because it does take so much time to get used to a new system and a new playbook, and the terminology switch is usually the big deal. It's a whole new language, even though it's usually all the same shit. You guys know when you play football, a new coordinator comes in or whatnot, and they change everything, and it's just like, I just spent a fucking year learning this fucking foreign language.
Sure. Right, and I haven't. Yeah. Right, but then also now what they're cultivating, right? They're cultivating fantasy football.
Yes.
Fans, and not hometown, homegrown fans. So
you're also looking at Kerry before I have to re-up so we can see if we can fix the Cowboys and talk about whatever the fuck we're going to talk about in our third hour. Is you're looking at GMs and coaches who grew up playing fantasy football, and this is what's happening. So we'll discuss that in about 1 minute. I'll see you guys in a second.
Okay.
All right. Did I just... There we go. Back up. All right, let me add these guys. Boy, I'm high as hell right now. This Tahoe OG has been fucking my lungs up. That is for sure. Alright, send that out to the guys. You also know it's time to roll the fuck up. What is going on with the lab computer today? It is not allowing me. This is nuts. Every time I try to look up the stats of these assholes. There we go. Oh, almost. Damn it. There he is. Yo, I'm feeling the hair, yo.
Yeah, I had to take it back to retro. See, I used to have long locks flowing down the middle.
Some guys need to be motivated. Guys like Steve Smith.
So, yeah.
That sounded like me for a second. I was like, wait a minute, was that me?
And I was like, yes, Rona motivated me to fucking grow my hair again. So I was like, am I doing this? I was like, I didn't want to do it again unless I could do it responsibly. So I'm thankful that, I still have the ability to grow a little something being 3,587 years old. I'm glad I still got some follicles that work.
Word. I mean, if we all had the beard power of Roger Harper, we could take over the world.
Power right
Yeah,
there.
I'm up there with you, Kerry. I got a few up there. I keep it bald right now, though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You feel me?
I mean, when you got a beard like that, you need nothing else. You don't need none of this.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, this is it. This is as bad. This is as far as it goes for me. Literally.
Love it.
14 going on 19. 40 going on 19. Whatever. I keep trying to pull up the stats of these fucking cowgirls, and my computer just really hates the Cowboys as much as I do.
Yeah, I can tell you defensively, they barely had positive stats. I'll tell you that much. You had a guy who was out of football for 4 years who had better stats than guys who had been playing continuously in those 4 years, and Alden Smith. Alden Smith
Got it.
got a contract. Let's think about that for a second. Alden Smith, who hadn't played football in 4 years, gets signed by Dallas, has a better season than guys who had been playing in these 4 years, and
Played-
then earned a contract to play for another team.
And then promptly got arrested.
And probably got arrested. He did all. But what I'm saying is he played well enough for another team to believe in him and to get paid. So, also talking about guys who just can't seem to get it together. Josh Gordon, is he going to get another go-round?
No.
With Browns. Is he going to get another one?
Nah, he's playing in that the fans league with Johnny Manziel.
I don't think I paid attention to that. Because what? What is that?
Yeah, there's a fan-controlled league. There's the fans fucking GoFunded me or the team. There's 4 or 6 teams or something. And dude, it's fan control, son. Johnny Manziel even said, they drink before the game, after. It's like whatever. They get fucked up. But yeah, he's on Johnny Manziel's team.
Of course he is.
Yeah, no, it's
So he can drink as much lean and
all that shit that he can't stop doing.
this is not good news.
All right, so glaring thing about the Cowboys last year, outside of Dak and this contract situation, the fact that when Andy Dalton got destroyed and murdered on the field on national television and not one single teammate even fucking took one step towards him to help him up, let alone defend him.
He got 187 in front of everybody.
We all saw it. Was just like a JFK scenario. We all got to watch it happen. And usually, you guys know, it's football. Your quarterback gets hit, there's a fight. You have to fight. The offensive line better start fighting somebody. That's your job to protect that guy.
How many penalties we get? You better throw some bows.
So let alone at least not even help or somebody go check on him and be like, oh shit,
You had coaches. I mean, you had everybody outside of football who played, and then they weren't playing. They hadn't even been in the game for a long time. They're just commentating. You saw how angry they got just talking about it. Like, they could have never been in my locker room. I would have never allowed them back in my locker room. Any player who didn't go out there and rectify that, you wouldn't have been allowed back in my locker room. No way.
Offensive linemen tend to have a nasty attitude anyway. And tend to be like guys that are going to get into bar fights. Like, it's just going to happen. So, the fact that
Drink the most beer.
Yeah, the offensive lineman did not try to fight anyone. When weeks later we saw Buffalo's offensive line start putting in work the second Josh Allen got hit. So,
Playoff.
yeah, we had this thing in college. This is why it was despicable to me as a football player and a fan to watch them not eat. I've never liked Andy Dalton, but you just don't leave a player laying face down on the turf like that. So in college, you guys know, defense wears the dark colors. Offense usually wears the light colors. Ours was red and white. So red shirts was defense. If anybody on defense, this is not the quarterback getting hit. This is defense. If anybody got into any scuffle whatsoever, our defensive coordinator would blow the whistle 3 times and call code red, and you were required to get into a fight with somebody that was wearing a white jersey. How the fuck didn't the Cowboys help their quarterback up? Okay, yeah, you were required to get busy. It was a free-for-all. It was hilarious.
Saying your defensive coordinator ordered the code red?
Yeah, Rusty Elliott, every time. You heard 3.
Tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Ordered the code red.
Yeah. Code red.
That's all I need to know.
Code red. Dude, I'm telling you, if you didn't get busy, even if you just had to go grab somebody in a white shirt and act like you were tussling, you had to run hills.
I love it. I love it.
It was hilarious because I was best friends with our kicker. And, the kicker wears the offensive shirt. Dude, I was headhunting him every single code red. I was trying to destroy Travis Paul, yo. Yo, because Kerry, man, I was really good friends with our tight end too, and he was huge, right? So there was one code red before I decided to make business decisions and go after the kicker. Dude, I'm trying to get busy, man. I went full samurai, horizontal into our tight end, and he didn't even see me coming, and he still caught me.
I want to say, did he catch you?
Yes. And that's what I do. Like, no, okay, where's Travis Paul at? I'm going after him from here on out. But, so, anyway, I mean, yo.
Oh, man, just catch me out the sky.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It's like some fucking John Wick shit. It was hilarious. But you guys also know that some of those code reds resulted in real fucking fights popping off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, listen, you've recovered a fumble before. Shit. With the shit that they do to you at the bottom of the pile? Look, come on now. Mm-hmm. So we just talking about scrapping.
And this is teammates, mind you, teammates in practice. So I cannot fathom a quarterback getting blasted and then laying face first on the pay, and nobody helps him.
I know that was honestly, and we've all watched a ton of football. I hadn't seen anything like I can't even remember seeing something like that and nobody responding at all.
Only once can I ever remember seeing that. And that was Willie Beeman.
Yo, he's funny, boy.
Yo,
funny, boy.
Yo, ain't nobody helped Willie Beeman up in that rainy game.
Nobody helped.
After
going up over the damn place, bleed. Yeah, damn.
Yo, after he put out that rap video, son, it was over. Nobody helped him up.
That's a good one.
But no, seriously, that's how rare it is.
Yeah, you don't see that. It doesn't happen.
It's a quarterback, for fuck's sake. It's like a requirement.
Yeah, you don't let your kids.
Just because even if you hate that guy, do you know what your coach is going to do to you in the team meeting when you watch film and everybody sees that you didn't help the fucking quarterback. Like,
Oh yeah,
incredible.
Trust. My high school quarterback, or I'll just say, the quarterback in high school who played on the same team in which I played and started, I could not stand. That's why I didn't even play offense. I was like, nah, I'd rather go defense. But he would have got smacked in the mouth. I'd have been one of the first people out there.
Yeah.
You put that to the side. Now, once the game is decided, it's fuck you all day. But you wearing the same uniforms and we line up on the same blades of grass. Hey, we doing this thing together. That's it. That is the agreement, that the gentleman agreement that we made, putting on the same uniform. That's it. Nothing else needs to be said.
I mean, could you imagine being like a chess piece, and then your opponent, their move, they walk up and slap your queen right in the mouth, and then you all just kind of stand there?
Yeah.
Like, it's the fucking quarterback, dude. Incredible.
Yeah, man. But because that's an organizational thing. Because because it's also a disgrace to say, well, if that was Dak, what you mean? So now we picking players in this whole organization? We're supposed to be one cohesive unit. It doesn't matter if it's your starter or if it's your third string. Listen, in Denver, they showed more love for that emergency quarterback who was really a wide receiver, who they just got out of the insurance agency to come play quarterback. They showed more love for him.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Who completed one professional pass. Kudos to him for completing one professional pass. They showed more love to him than they did to Andy Dalton.
Yo.
Who was their backup.
Jay Cutler would have been picked up off the turf.
Jay Cutler would have been picked up.
Jeff George would have been picked up.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they just looked at him and then that was it, like there was no smoke, except the smoke coming off of Andy Dalton's destroyed body.
Mm.
It was incredible. You'll never see that again. You have to watch it again Sunday or watch the YouTube clip of that happening to see that happening. You'll never see it. And you shouldn't. It's retarded. So, let's look at some of these stats. How does Zeke only have 900 yards rushing?
That offensive line was trash this year. Point blank, period. They were trash.
4 yards a carry, not so much. It's not great. Only 6 touchdowns. I remember him struggling in the red zone the last season.
And what did he get paid?
A lot, $100 million or something stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
They did have Tony Pollard in the backfield as their backup.
Let's not forget, he turned the rock over too, so that wasn't all on the offensive line.
No.
He fumbled.
Yes. Stop worrying about showing your abs on the field and worry about ball security there, Zeke.
That's out of shape. Look, he wasn't in that same shape. He wasn't in tank top shape. He wasn't in that Ohio State shape.
Nope. But that did give Tony Pollard a lot of opportunities, and Tony Pollard was a good second running back into fantasy last season.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, he was great. He won me a little bit of money, I will say that. Let's see. Receiver-wise, dude, they're loaded. Amari Cooper, 1,000 yards to be expected. CeeDee Lamb as a rookie, 930 yards. Unlimited potential with that kid, just through the roof. And then Michael Gallup, who now slides to their third receiver because CeeDee Lamb is so good.
Receiver. CeeDee Lamb got that busy at third receiver.
Yeah, so CeeDee Lamb's going to eat up more targets because of just he's too talented not to. So Michael, now you're looking at
that. Remember, starting tight end got hurt early.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at probably the best receiver 1 through 3. You're starting one X, Y, and Z. The best receiver room in the NFL with these 3.
Yeah.
When Amari Cooper is your least explosive wide receiver out of your top 3.
Right.
See, I mean, talk about players that don't have any heart. That guy right there just folds under pressure.
Looks like motivated. You have to. Well, what motivates this kid. I don't, because even at Alabama, I don't know if I've ever seen him have an emotion ever.
It's different. Like, you've seen certain players. You've seen certain players that just they don't really like emote on the field or whatnot, but they just play.
Listen,
Andre Johnson.
okay, I'll tell you. Okay, I'll give you one that's playing right now. Favorite players just because of how he balls. Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb won't give you but Nick Chubb gives you everything every play.
Mm-hmm.
Same for Amari Cooper.
Nah, he seems like he just takes plays off.
Yeah.
Well, games off.
That's what he's gonna give me. So stone face. I get it. You a killer. Mark Bavaro was the same. He didn't do all that shit, but you knew what he gave you. But Amari Cooper,
Just
He might even drop a ball. He might even drop a ball or two.
yeah.
Right.
And then also not show any real emotion about dropping any passes. Like, whatever.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
When you have CeeDee Lamb diving for everything, like, I mean, and this kid has more emotion. They lost. He's pissed. Like, CeeDee Lamb gave me everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Amari just didn't. CeeDee Lamb was pissed. I actually felt bad for CeeDee Lamb, even though you know how I feel about that team in Dallas. I actually felt bad for him because he cared.
Yeah.
Cared.
They also have Cedric Wilson as their fourth wide receiver, so let's not forget about him. Dude, they're stacked. Their wide receiver room is stacked.
What I'm saying, easily.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Even their backup tight end got busy.
Yeah, what do they call him? The Belldozer, Blake Bell. Used to be started out as a quarterback at Oklahoma.
Quarterback at OU. No, the other tight end who got more reps than Bell.
Oh, Blake Jarwin. No, Blake Jarwin.
Yes, Jarwin. Jarwin is the one.
Jarwin, yeah, was their third that came in after Dalton Schultz got hurt a little bit.
Jarwin had some good games.
Yeah, so they definitely, it's all about the offensive line on their offensive side.
Line. That's why I say get up, start O lineman, and then go defense. Like you'll figure it out. But if you don't get one of these couple, because one of them will fall to you. If now you're picking, one of them will fall.
100%.
Right there, get him.
All right, let me go to their depth chart and see who they actually still have on offensive line after this last season of attrition. They still have Tyron Smith, and they still have Zach Martin, and they still have Lyle Collins, who actually turned out to.
Lyle Collins resigned. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's turned out to be a solid player.
Travis Fredrickson done.
Yeah.
Their other all-pro, all-stud guard done.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They got to rebuild because you can't have a running back that you paid that much money to not be able to run the rock.
100%. So let's look at the defensive side. Leading tackler was Jalen Smith by a mile. He actually more than doubled the next leading tackler on his team. Wow.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he had a great year.
That was a great pick by them because I knew he would recover and he would just be all over the place. And I like Vander Esch. I like Vander Esch too. They just both need to step up their awareness.
Yeah. So this is a troubling thing, and we talk about this. This is how you can. This is one thing that statistics do not lie. Leading tackler Jalen Smith, very active. Next two leading tacklers, both safeties. That means running backs are getting through the first level into the secondary a lot. Safeties are having to make a lot of tackles. Corners were breaking down a lot. That's not a good thing.
Like if Jalen Smith and Vander Esch step up their awareness, a couple of those tackles by Jalen Smith would have been interceptions.
Yeah.
Instead, there would have been interceptions or at least fumbles. Same for Vander Esch. I saw the plays. I was looking at them, and I was like, man.
So Alden Smith is gone. They do have two very young corners. Trayvon Diggs and Jordan Lewis. I like Jordan Lewis out of Michigan.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs got worked.
Got
worked.
Worked. So he got put on. He got put into the spotlight, and it did not shine in a positive light on him. That's for sure. They do got Awuzie at corner, but he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
They picked up. Didn't they pick up a corner?
What did Awuzie, wasn't it?
Oh, it was Woolsey, right?
Yeah, so he was hurt. He only played 8 games last year, so we'll see what he slides into. But they needed to because, like you said, Diggs got just
Worked.
he got worked a lot. DK Metcalf just Diggs had a terrible day against Metcalf, just really terrible.
It was bad. But he had some bad days.
Yeah.
He had some bad Sundays.
Well, it's so hard to play corner in the NFL. It's so fucking hard, dude.
Not really getting consistent pressure.
Well,
because
yeah.
Randy Gregory did come on, and you have DeMarcus Lawrence. So Randy Gregory is interesting because now he's finally starting to get to play again. Can he keep it clean? If he can, Randy Gregory was showing that he's a player in this league. So now you pair Randy Gregory consistently, and he's not hurt and he's not suspended, with DeMarcus Lawrence, who does need to step it up, especially now Aldon Smith is gone. You need interior tackles. You need some defensive tackles to help shore that up. But Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence is a good starting point. If they can, DeMarcus Lawrence you can count on. Randy Gregory, he's the wild card. But when he was in there, he made plays. But again, it's just you had a defense that lacked awareness, and it was through all three levels of the defense. That's why Van Der Esch and Jalen really need to step it up. They are the ones who really need to step their awareness up. And if you get more pressure, you're going to help out Diggs. You're going to help that secondary out. This young, but you got to remember who they lost. You know, they had some big losses because of my man from Connecticut with the long jump and who went to Miami. Like, that was a big loss for them.
Xavier Woods also, their second leading tackler at safety, he also is gone now.
Exactly.
I'm looking at their roster. He's not even on it anymore. So,
but
but
the defensive coordinator, he was trying to defense, and it was terrible. It was bad.
But they also picked up Keanu Neal to fill that safety gap from Atlanta.
That's what I was thinking about, Keanu Neal. Well, Keanu Neal, a thumper. Keanu Neal is in that same vein of what I was talking about with Jalen Smith. Some of those tackles should have been interceptions. Keanu Neal will hit you before he will pick the ball.
Well, I also know that he's listed as a strong safety, but their plans, they've already stated that he is going to be more of a linebacker instead of a safety on their team. But this goes on with the teams adjusting to 5 and 6 defensive backs on the field at a time. He might be listed as a linebacker, but he's really just another safety.
Right. But, you know, we've seen, though, when defenses have, like, you look at the teams who created the most turnovers, yeah? These were the teams that won consistently. I mean, who didn't just have the explosive offenses like a Kansas City. You see how that saw later, as it got later in the season, Tampa Bay started causing turnovers, and they were causing turnovers on, I mean, see how many times they turned over Aaron Rodgers? So they were getting turnovers on some.
So Roger Harper, as a former NFL safety, how difficult is it to play when to cover these elite NFL receivers and offenses whenever your fucking defensive line is getting no fucking pressure up front?
It makes it very difficult. Gives the quarterback time, allows the receiver to run double routes, triple routes. It makes it hard, man, when you don't have no pressure on your D-line.
See, this is what
that quarterback and rush the ball,
What people have to understand about the NFL is if you're a quarterback and have made it onto an NFL team, especially if you've made it onto the field, if any team gives you time and a clean pocket, you're going to fucking ball out. It's just like NBA players. I don't care the 12th man on the bench. If you leave him open, he's hitting it. They're professionals. So, have you ever had, is there ever been a game where you came into the huddle where your D-line was just getting worked and you just was just like, you motherfuckers?
Well, I played with some good players, some Pro Bowl, Deion, so it was some times where, the had to change things up. Off of D lines, we change up stunts or change up something just to get something going. So
Yeah, but who was your DC then?
Where in
Dallas.
Atlanta? Oh, in Dallas, his name was Dave Campos.
Oh,
Dave
Campos. Okay.
Dave Campos, yeah,
Yep.
that was my D coordinator, and Mike Zimmer, defensive back coach.
Oh, so how was Zimmerman?
Zimmer.
Zimmer.
He was a crazy guy, man. Full of energy. He getting your ass, man. But he's a great coach. I respect it.
Well, I was asking about Dallas. Let's ask you about Atlanta, because I just know that. Yeah, you know why I'm doing this, because really, it was what you had in Atlanta. I mean, it was like Dion, it was Jesse Tuggle, and then this was before Dolman got there. Yeah, I think.
Lester Archambault. We had Mike. No, let me see. No, Mike Kim was offensive line. I'm trying to think who was on the defensive line. And Tim Green.
Tim Green. Yeah, you had a couple guys who had, Tuggle was obviously Jesse.
Yes.
Dion. So that was like. So who was that D coordinator? Who was that DC then? Who was that D coordinator?
His name was Doug. I forgot his name, man. Straight up.
And that's the reason why I didn't want to even ask you, because I was like, yeah, because Jerry Glanville was such a big. Because after Jerry Glanville, it was June Jones. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, correct. My 3 years in Atlanta, I had 3 different defensive coordinators, 3 different defensive schemes. It was a little difficult, We've talked about this before, when you change up defensive coordinators and defensive teams, and makes it difficult to get established, as far as your schemes and things like that when things change up for the players.
Yeah, it's really crazy because
you can't build an identity.
Well, it's crazy because essentially it's football. So it's X's and O's, but it's the language switch, because you're literally just changing the name of all the shit that you had in your brain. And
then look at coordinators like Dick Duran. Like, you knew when you were playing in a Dick Duran defense. Look at Buddy Ryan. You knew when you were playing in a Buddy Ryan defense, the 46.
Yeah.
Like, these guys that have these defensive philosophies that you learn, and as you buy into the system, even the hoodie. His most masterful job was in that Super Bowl versus the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
When he was D coordinator for the Giants, because he said Thurman is going to have a Thurman game, but we need to destroy these receivers. Hit them early, hit them often, do this.
Exact same thing he did against the greatest show on turf.
Exactly.
Hit everybody. He just hit them every play.
Marshall Faulk had a good game. Remember this? Marshall Faulk had a good game.
Nobody else did.
Nobody else did.
Ricky Prohl had the best game as wide receivers for them, yeah.
Oh, Ricky Prohl did. But that's it. And Antoine Smith, I'll be honest with you, should have really won the MVP for that one. Let's go Cougs. But 92 yards, a couple touchdowns. But yeah, they had to give it to Brady.
Yeah, Gabe Whitty drive. Hey, you got to give it to him.
But Antoine Smith really did. But got to ref from the Cougs. But yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You can't build an identity. You don't even know what you're doing from time to time. So, and when you have that, you have players who will check out and make business decisions. So you'll have really good. First, you're in the league. Everybody's good. So you'll have really good players who are making business decisions. Like, I don't trust this guy. Look at this bullshit that we go through, and he's probably not even going to be there, which then speaks to the organization. He's probably not even going to be here long, so whatever. And I still got these years left. I'm just like chilling for right now. And then you see players who then get moved, shifted to someplace else, and then all of a sudden, you're like, oh shit, well, how come they didn't play like that over there? Well, because over there, and then they'll let you know, over there it was bullshit. I wasn't gonna put my neck out on the line for these motherfuckers. Hell no. No way. Don't do that.
Word. So I have a funny thought. I want to see if you're Deion Sanders, Roger Harper, since you're friends with him, Did he even take a defensive playbook? Like,
Nah.
yeah, I'm gonna say I figure he did because it'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? Whoever's the best guy, that's my playbook.
Yeah,
Like
in Atlanta and Dallas, he's like, y'all don't pay me to tackle. That's what he's always say. Y'all don't pay me to tackle. Y'all pay me to cover. It's the best receiver.
that's hilarious because, I mean, in college when I switched to corner, I never paid attention in any defensive meeting ever. It was just like I'm either in a zone, I have this section of the field, or I'm covering someone. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, I was a good blitzer though because I could hide.
Mm-hmm.
So I would get the blitz every once in a while.
Well, see, we ran safety blitzes. I would have to know. I would call out defenses a lot of times too. So.
Oh yeah, safeties do that.
Yeah, another funny note. So Michael J just popped into the chat. Apparently, Michael is a Cowboys fan, and he's laughing because the title of the whole thing is "Fuck the Cowboys" because I fucking hate the Cowboys. But he's just like, wait a minute, that's fucking Roger Harper. He's like, yo, this is insane. So yeah, it is motherfucker Roger Harper.
333 represent, baby.
You're goddamn right. So, as far as the Cowboys go, Sean Lee, there's a hole now. They need a defensive line help, offensive line help. So, that's their targets.
A hole now, but Sean Lee was a hole. I'll be honest with you.
Of course.
He couldn't stay healthy. This guy was he was on the field, but couldn't stay healthy. So, I don't see that as a big loss for them. I don't.
Yeah, but you know that it's that you're weak whenever every single time that he's back, he's right back onto the field. It's just like, please, 80%'s better than 100% of you bums.
And then you're automatically playing better because he cares. That's the thing about Sean Lee. Sean Lee cared.
Well, you're also missing the leadership and the football IQ aspect of the on-the-field coaching and whatnot.
And they don't have defensive football IQ. And this is why I say they need to bump up their awareness.
Who's their D coordinator right now?
Yeah, they moved on from Nolan. Shit. I don't know who their D coordinator is now.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. It's a name that we know because it was a former head coach. Shit. You got the...
I'm going to have to look it up now. All right.
Come on.
Let's see. Yeah, I have no idea. I imagine that if Michael J is a true Cowboys fan, then he'll already know who their fucking D coordinator is.
But it's a coach we know.
Yeah, we talked about it before. I just, fuck the Cowboys. It's funny because, being a Patriots fan, I understand the nobody is your fan unless they're your fans. There's no neutrality with the Cowboys, and that's all Jerry Jones' fault also.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn, we talked about that.
Dan Quinn.
Someone we know, he was a head coach. I knew that. I just couldn't remember.
Oh, they are definitely going 8-1 then. Dan Quinn is going to choke away at least 8 games. Oh, that guy is a choke artist at the highest levels.
Exactly.
You know what?
That's why the Cowboys just stay where they're at.
Yep.
Dallas Cowboys need that Biggie remix. You're nobody till somebody cheers you. Nobody really. This whole perception that Dallas is America's team. If that's not done yet, if there was any team,
Pittsburgh.
If there was any team that I could say that could actually claim that, it would be the New England Patriots. And I'm going to tell you why. Not even outside of their colors. You have teams that know about Tom Brady. There's not a ton of football players that internationally you're known. They know the Patriots. Patriots are winners.
Okay, well, worldwide, I would say the Patriots would be America's team, but inside of America, the Steelers are. The Steelers fans are everywhere. They travel everywhere.
Steelers fans are the most well-traveled I've ever seen. You will find terrible towels
everywhere.
Yeah, I get it. But I'm saying but the Patriots though, we love to hate them.
Yeah.
And I get it. But Dallas was set up as America's team because it was this perception of winning all the time, but really was the cheerleaders.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're getting to my whole point.
Real. But yeah, it was this perception of winning, and this is how we did it, and everything's bigger in Dallas, and everything. Come on now, if we see like we're talking about just straight winning, it has to be the Patriots.
All right, so let me ask you something. Can you think of another NFL team where the product on the field is the fifth topic of conversation at all times? Number one, Cowgirls, the cheerleaders. Most famous thing on their team, easily.
Mm-hmm.
They started. That's how they became American.
Number two is Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Number three is Jerry's World, the stadium now.
Massive.
And then number four is the whole Dak scenario and contract situation. And then you talk about the terrible product on the field. It's such an afterthought.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's still so highly valued.
All right, so the one thing before, we got about 4 minutes left. So another weird thing that blows my mind about the Cowboys. So in Jerry's World, you can rent office space, right? This massive complex, right? Anybody can rent this office space. The office space literally has windows that overlook the Cowboys practice field. You don't think Bill Belichick doesn't have a shell company that's got an office rented out above the practice field every year that the Cowboys are on the schedule?
He did it for the Cincinnati Bungles.
Illegally, are you telling me I get to rent an office and just sit there in air conditioning and watch?
Not technically illegal.
It's not.
Not. I mean, not.
It's insane. It's insane that they do that. That's really weird because which GM said it? I forget. If somebody that had a rivalry with the Patriots that said when they would see a plane going overhead the practice field, they would think that it was the Patriots. Like they were so paranoid at all times. And then this guy's got, you can rent office space with floor to ceiling windows above the practice field.
Wow.
That's nuts.
But but I'm gonna tell you, that's a businessman.
Yeah.
That's not the owner of a football team.
I mean, you're looking at a team that has the highest value. Well, they might be below the Patriots at this point, but usually the highest valued for the longest time, the highest valued in the NFL, that's constantly going 8-8.
Because I guarantee you, when Jerry Jones wanted Johnny Manziel, it was way beyond because of football talent. He was thinking marketing. He was thinking businessman thoughts.
Yeah.
He wasn't thinking football thoughts. His son was thinking football thoughts and said, no, we're going to get Travis Fredrickson because he is the best lineman in this draft right now.
Well, I mean, Jerry has a history of doing this. My favorite miss on his is passing up on Randy Moss, who wanted to go play for the Cowboys because of the business side of he might damage the brand.
Yep.
And then Randy took it personal.
We tell you, Roger Harper.
Yeah, Randy took it personal. So, I mean, Roger Harper definitely has firsthand experience with Jerry Jones, and you can see the look on his face. We've discussed it before.
Yes, I do.
Talking about a businessman.
Yes, indeed.
And, the NFL ultimately is a business to the 32 people who own teams.
Yep.
So you always have to look at it like that. So we got less than a minute left. Fuck the Cowboys. Sorry, Michael J. It is what it is. We all hate them. Even their fans hate them because you're 8-8 every year. I can't wait for you to be the first team that goes 8-8-1. Impossible, almost impossible mathematically to go 500 when you have 17 games in the NFL, but you guys are going to find a way to do it. I love it. And plus, that always sticks you in the middle of the draft, so you're never up high enough to really make an improvement. So it's just like you're constantly fucking yourself. It's awesome. Now you got Dan Quinn as a D coordinator.
Yes.
Guaranteed to blow you at least 5 games on his own. I love it. So, guys, I appreciate it. Thursday, draft special. We'll be going live Thursday. We'll text. I'll text you guys. We'll figure it out.
All right.
All right, so I appreciate your time. Until next time, we will see you guys on Thursday sometime after 8 o'clock. We'll figure it out. All right, so yeah, Michael, sorry to tell you, but yeah, fuck the Cowboys. We all hate them. It is what it is. So that's it for this episode of Gray Matter, and we were forced to talk about the Cowboys, but we are professional and we did it. So Thursday, I believe the draft starts at 8 o'clock, so we'll probably be going live at 8, and we will do a live first round draft watch along and discuss everything that happens for like an hour or two, because the first round does last for like 5 hours, and I'm not doing 5 fucking hours. But so as far as you football heads go, I appreciate you guys coming through, and I will see you Thursday for our Gray Matter draft spectacular blunts and draft picks.